Don't know if this camera thing works. Might have to try something else. Hi, it's me again. I thought you might like to join me on another lunchtime walk because I don't have a lot of time to make these, so making them on lunch is really quite helpful to me. And good reactions the other day. You seem to enjoy a little walk around Jaywick. I looked a bit ill. I've been ill for a couple of days. Not been feeling brilliantly. On the mend now though. But yeah, didn't look very good in that one. And yeah, I got a bit of slack from people of Jaywick because I didn't really show it in its best light. I did the typical, this is the crap bit of Jaywick. But if I did the nice bit, you wouldn't have known where I was, would you? So I had to do that. But it's nice today. But down here on the quay in Malden. It's nice down here. And today's big news we can talk about is ITV are reportedly going to offer Gary Lineker £4 million to present the football for ITV. £4 million. Now there was talk last week that he could triple his salary. There's on 1.3. That's tripling salary, right? God, that's a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money. £4 million. What did he actually say? Hold on. ITV are reportedly planning to take advantage of any lingering ill feeling between Lineker and the BBC by offering £4 million a year to front up their football coverage. Lineker would be allowed to tweet freely while his final salary would not need to be declared publicly like it is at the BBC. Oh yeah, there you go. £4 million a year. And we don't know the ins and outs of Gary's contract, but common consensus is that he's got about a year to run on his contract, something like that. So with a year to run, is this mic working? Yeah. So yeah, common consensus he's got about a year to run on his contract. So he could see out his tenure at the BBC and then move over to ITV. £4 million. Be able to tweet freely and no one would actually know his salary. Because when you're employed by the BBC, you have to tell. Although, you know, like Attenborough, you don't know his salary, he works for the BBC. We never knew what Jeremy Clarkson earned. He worked for the BBC because they work for BBC Studios. So you never know, he could try and find his way into that, couldn't he? It's nice down here, isn't it? I don't really want to walk this way though, because it's a bit busy and I don't know if the kids are off or not. And if there's loads of kids around, I don't want to have to be blurring out faces, so I don't think it's right to be doing that, do you? Hang on a sec. Sorry about that. There's loads of people about, and I don't want to blur out too many faces, and I don't need to get too many strangers in this. Just going about their day in the quay in Malden, aren't they? So in other news, there's been a poll again. Should the TV licence fee be scrapped? And I think this one's batting at, I think it was 91% last time I checked, for a yes. Which is about right. It's about what you'd expect, isn't it? 91%. But the interesting part of this article, it's in the whole dailymail.co.uk, was one of the comments, look. David Attenborough, Only Fools, Top Gear, EastEnders, Doctor Who, all worth the licence fee. Or for slightly less, you can have YouTube Premium. Top vid at the moment is called You Laugh, You Lose Your Balls. I get what they're trying to say there, is that the BBC makes quality stuff and for the price you pay, it's a small amount of money. And I've never had anything bad to say about people who want to pay the licence fee. If you want to pay it because you feel you get value for money, pay it. If you use the BBC and you enjoy using the BBC and watching their stuff, pay it. My bone of contention with the whole thing, more boats down there, look. My bone of contention with the whole thing is that if you don't want to access broadcast TV or use BBC iPlayer, it should be easy for you to not pay it. And it should be no hassle. I'm going to go and sit down here rather than walk about. A lot of people about today. And I'm not the most confident person in the world walking about with a camera. You do get some looks. Yeah, I don't know. We can stop down here. I was walking down here to go down onto this bit of grass anyway. You'll like it down here, look. It's nice down here. A lot of houseboats and things. It's nice. Quite the view. Downs Road, apparently. Take a picture. Oh yeah, where was I? If you use the BBC, you like watching stuff on the BBC, pay it. I don't have a problem with you wanting to pay it. As I've always said, my bone of contention is it should be easier to not pay it if you don't require the services and you don't want to fund the BBC. But that comment, right, where was it? David Attenborough, Top Gear, Doctor Who, they weren't made by BBC, were they? 100% sure Top Gear is made by BBC Studios. David Attenborough stuff is made by BBC Studios. So if you defund the BBC, if the BBC wraps up and it can't pay its bills, you're not going to lose those shows. They're made by a private production company called BBC Studios. So they're not going to go anywhere, they just get sold elsewhere, like to Netflix or Amazon or some other TV channel taken. They're not going anywhere. I think that's what a lot of people get confused between BBC and BBC Studios. And they don't know the difference. But many of your favourite shows that you defend the BBC for, muddy round here, are made by BBC Studios. So they ain't going to go anywhere, they just get sold elsewhere. That's why Top Gear can appear on Dave so much, although UK TV's owned by BBC anyway. But that's why you find Top Gear on Netflix and stuff like that, because they can sell it. They own the commercial rights to it because they make it, and they can sell it. They can sell the rights for Netflix to show it for a profit, and the BBC can't do that. This one came up as well in my feed today. Gary Lineker makes match of the day return, but swaps funny opener for a serious message. So here Gary's back on match of the day when he, and instead of making a joke or something or talking about football, and he said, look, the ex-football star turned TV star said, Alan, it's good to be here, blah, 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 having already shared a snap match today. The joys of being allowed to stick to football. Then Alan Shearer jumped in with, I just need to clear up. I wanted to say how upset we were that all the audiences who missed out on last weekend. It's a really difficult situation for everyone. Through no fault of their own, some really great people in TV and radio were put in an impossible situation. What do you mean through no fault of their own? How is that through no fault of their own? Through no fault of their own, some really great people in TV and radio were put in an impossible position. No one made them defend Lineker. You know, absolutely no one made them defend Lineker. I'm genuinely surprised someone didn't step up and say, I'll do it. Although there was one, wasn't there? And he got shot down. I can't remember his name. If I remember it, I'll put it over the screen now. So yeah, they weren't put in an impossible position. They chose to put themselves in an impossible position because of solidarity. You know, I don't know. If one of my colleagues went on strike over pay and conditions or something, would I support them? Depends. It depends, I suppose, doesn't it? But he was tweeting about migrants again, and there was a story. I got a story somewhere. Hang on, of him with some migrants, or have I? No, I could have sworn I'd saved that to talk about. There was a story. I'll put it in the next video of these that I do about the migrant that he had stay in his house was defending him, and he had him there for a whole month, and he paid for his oyster car, and he let the migrant cook him a Rogan Josh, lovely, or was it a biryani? Not that that's an important part of it, but it was a month. And then he had another one that was a month, and granted, credit where it's due, there's more migrants than I've had at mine. I've only got one bed though, to be fair, and I don't go off spouting about migrants all the time. But when he was virtual signaling, saying I'm going to take in migrants, a month? How's that migrant got his asylum claim sorted in a month and got his fucking life together in a month? So yeah, I don't get it. Yeah, I don't know. There was a poll in the Daily Telegraph. Look, a new poll from the Daily Telegraph has found that 91% of over 14,000 readers, that's a lot, compared to, because the Daily Express one doesn't get anywhere near that amount of people responding to their poll, so the Telegraph, good for them. 91% of 14,000 readers believe the licence fee should be scrapped. And this is the Telegraph. This isn't some crappy paper like I normally read. Oh, some nice dogs coming. Hello. Yeah, I know. Hello. You all right? So yeah, Telegraph, posh a paper that. So to have 91% of those people, it's a big number, isn't it? 91% saying they want it scrapped. The tide is really turning. And with the freeze coming to an end shortly, and it possibly going up in line with inflation, I said this year there's gonna be something interesting happen with the licence fee. I do believe that. I do believe we're gonna hear something interesting this year. Whether it's gonna be good, like it'll be frozen again and they'll make it easier to opt out, which they should, and they should ban the scary letters, something like that, which I'd be all for. Whether they scrap it off, so I think it's a long shot. Or second favourite's probably them turning it into some kind of media tax, levy, whatever you want to call it. That seems to be what the BBC want. And with, as I said before, with huge rates of public opinion against it, and evasion rates, not evasion rates, but not paying rates getting bigger, that's where change comes. There's a boat, though. Another dog. I'm a bit of a dog mode at the minute. I miss my dog. Oh, there's a lot of people about, and I don't want to blur faces. I don't want to get too many strangers in. They're just going about their day. That would have been some numpty's YouTube video, do they? So if you look behind me down there, it's a black building. There's some steam and smoke coming off it. World famous. World famous down there. And that's where Malden sea salt comes from. Known the world over. Doesn't matter where in the world you go. Well, probably a few third world countries don't have it. You'll see Malden sea salt. There you go. Now you know where it's made. Right on the River Blackwater. I think they take the water out of there, don't they? Evaporate it, get salt. Yeah, there you go. Right, I've got a few questions to go through, but I've got a whacking great big hill on the go here. So I think what would be best if I get to the top of the hill first, eh? And then we'll do the question section. Yeah, I seem to have real problems with this camera where it's picking up my breathing too much. I'm trying something different with the mic, because I'm not that bad. I'm bad, but I'm not that bad. So let's have a look at some of your comments then. Clacton Beach is much better than Southend. I've done a video on the location you're at too. Anyway, FYI, never had and never will have a TV licence. From Bill Rankin. Oh, this thing is doing my head in today. I must learn how to work these Osmo Pocket cameras. So yeah, I had a look at Bill Rankin's YouTube. There's a lot around Clacton and Jaywick on his bike or drone shots. If you like that sort of thing, yeah, go and have a look. One question you got about camper van made me laugh. Imagine the goon in a traveller site harassing the residents. Would the body ever be found? Yeah, we was talking. I had a question in the last video, didn't I? Someone wants to live full time in his camper van and wanted to know if he needs a TV licence for it. Now, that's a fair point. A lot of traveller sites around, isn't there? How many of them do you think have a television licence? I'm now 15 months without a TV licence due to watching this channel. That money has helped me keep my flat a bit warmer. I just watch Disney and Netflix and Prime. So yeah, well, you're over 159 quid up then, aren't you? Good stuff. I'm happy to have helped. And I like getting messages from people who cancel because of me and they're in control of it and they're not scared by the letters or the threats of visits. It's good. I'm going to get you on GB News Talking Pints with Farage, John. Be a superstar and working for the BBC before you know it. I don't see it. I don't see it. I wouldn't mind. But Farage, he's got enough telly stuff going on. He doesn't want to piss the BBC off too much, does he? He doesn't mind talking about it a bit. But he's not going to go all in like me. Well, it'll be fun. I could have a beer with Farage. No, I don't see it. I did have a weird dream, though, because I haven't been sleeping while I said I've been a bit poorly, where they brought me in to be an independent auditor of the BBC. And many BBC staff were trying to actively kill me because of what I was doing. It's really odd, really odd. We watched a few programmes about Jaywick. It looks a lovely spot there by the sea. Great community spirit and the people are great. It's been given a bad reputation because of its appearance and the fact there are, like everywhere, a few social problems. And people down on their luck have been rejected by society. It is crying out for support and investment from the authorities. The investment's coming. There used to be a thing there called the Sunspot, which was a big arcade. And that was my dad's in the 70s. That's where he met my mum as well. That was my dad's business. That's been flattened now. And they're putting up a big community centre with an indoor market and stuff. There's a lot of building going on, a lot of redevelopment. But most of Jaywick's all right. It's just that one bit that I went to, which is the worst bit, the Brooklands estate, where all the prefabs are. And those prefabs weren't meant to be there that long. When they built for the Second World War, I think. And yeah, they weren't meant to be there that long. So that's the bit that he's redeveloping. The rest of Jaywick just looks like anywhere else, really. But they are starting to spend a bit of money on it. But it's the Brooklands thing. I mean, what do you do about it? That whole area is all prefabs. They redid the roads a little while ago, which made a big difference. I don't know. But it's all right, Jaywick. It's just the Brooklands bit that looks not all right. Cancel my TV licence on Saturday. Well done. Congrats. Hopefully it was because of something I said. If not, doesn't matter. Not bothered as long as you've done it. 159 quid a year up you're going to be. Don't be scared of the letters, don't be scared of the visits. Easy, isn't it? I cancelled mine about 2 years ago now. Already had 3 sets of goons around the house trying their luck. Called Tina's and Classics. So I had, as you see on there, I said, how did you deal with them? So when I get an answer for that, I'll let you know. But yeah, a lot of cancellation, and I'm getting these messages every single day of the week. I'm getting messages saying, I cancelled. It's great. And the numbers are increasing. The amount of emails I get through TV licence stop, talking about it, it's going up. It's good. Change is going to come soon. You're going to hear something this year, I'm telling you. Right, anyway, tell me about it. We used to own this pub. It's one of my family's pubs. When we used to live in Malden years ago. And look behind me. I don't know what it's called now. Well, when we bought it, we painted it pink and filled it with mirrors and called it Reflections. Those were the days, eh? What year was that? I was still at school. So I was like 95, 96. But I've got a picture of me in there. I'll overlay it. Look, have a look. So yeah, on that note of my curtains haircut, I'll leave you be. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Leave your comments below, and I'll see you in the next one, all right? Ta-da!